Transfusion is a relatively common medical technique today, saving countless lives. However, medical transfusion worldwide is still restricted due to a lack of stable blood supply. Sometimes, patients have to wait for enough blood to be dispatched from the blood bank before undergoing surgery. This problem has existed since humans mastered the technique of blood transfusion a century ago. The blood bank system appeared during World War I and matured during World War II. The establishment of the blood bank system was to provide stable blood supply for hospitals in war zones, similar to providing weapons and ammunition for frontline troops. Despite the formation of the system, blood shortages in hospitals are still common. Firstly, blood needs to be collected from healthy living donors, and each person can only donate a limited amount. These donors are also scattered in different locations, involving multiple processes from collection, storage, transportation, to the final surgery. The research on cadaveric blood transfusion is an attempt to solve the problem of inadequate blood supply. Simply put, this technique involves transfusing blood from deceased individuals to living people. Apart from ethical considerations, there are also technical challenges, such as verifying the viability of the blood from deceased individuals, whether the body can accept such blood, and the risk of disease transmission, among others. The Soviet Union was at the forefront of research on cadaveric blood transfusion, reportedly due to the country's vast territory and sparse population, leading to an imperfect blood bank system that often failed to transport collected blood to where it was needed. This prompted some doctors to start researching cadaveric blood transfusion. As early as 1929, Professor Vladimir Shamov conducted extensive research on cadaveric blood and proposed the view that cadaveric blood is not toxic and can be used for medical transfusion. However, he did not conduct experiments on humans. The first person to conduct relevant experiments was the surgeon Sergei Yudin. On March 23, 1930, Yudin extracted blood from a man who was killed by a public bus in Moscow, and 6 hours later, the blood was injected into the body of a young engineer who attempted suicide. This surgery seemed to be successful, making it the first confirmed practical application of cadaveric blood transfusion. In the same year, Yudin reported his 7th clinical trial at the 4th Congress of Surgeons in Kharkov, indicating that he had conducted multiple experiments and gathered a lot of data related to cadaveric blood. Many details of these experiments are still unknown, as many of the doctors involved in this matter chose to remain silent for fear of moral condemnation from the public. It seems that the United States also conducted relevant experiments later on, and the research of many countries over the years has been beneficial for blood collection and storage techniques, with many high-quality technical papers published. However, cadaveric blood transfusion technology is still in the experimental stage in all countries. The moral condemnation is a difficult barrier to overcome, and there are also necessary conditions for cadaveric blood transfusion, such as the deceased meeting the criteria for blood donation during their lifetime, and the time between death and blood collection not being too long, as the body may breed bacteria and contaminate the blood, or the blood may clot and lose its function. Another problem is where to find so many cadaver volunteers who can donate blood in a timely manner under normal circumstances.